Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today it's time for our Q2 review or mid-year review for my collecting goals and for my reading so far, right? So last time I said that I didn't really do that well, but I was happy with it, and this time I think it's more or less the same, although I feel like I did a bit of a better job in terms of collecting, although I did read a lot less this month, or this past 3 months, right? So yeah, so in terms of collecting, I got one more Pokemon Adventures volume, so that's nice. I only have 3 left. I have 8, 9, and 10. And I should be able to get those sometime in November, probably, because that's when they have the Thanksgiving sale at one of my local comic book stores. And they usually have those 3 volumes available, so that's good. I also finally got to buy more Dragon Maid books. I got these at that same comic book store that I just mentioned. It's called the Madness Games and Comics. It's a really cool store here in Dallas. And they had a sale for free comic book day. And the sale was buy 2, get 1 free. They have them pretty often, and they always have Dragon Maid volumes. I was talking to my friend about it, and he's like, well, you always tell me you want to get them. You should get them. And this also applied to another series that I'll mention in just a bit, right? So I got 3 more Dragon Maid volumes. Now I'm at 6 out of 14 so far. Plus the 2 color editions. So I have 7 out of 16 volumes. So I'm about halfway collecting that. That's good. I got 1 more Bright Story volume this month, this portion of the year. And that means that I'm officially more or less over halfway with the series, because there's 14 volumes available in English. And I did say I was going to try to get Emma this quarter, but I didn't. I decided that I do want to finish collecting Dragon Maid's, Bright Story first before I move on to any of the other series, unless there's, a moment where it's really, on sale, and it's accessible, right? But that doesn't ever seem to happen, so we'll see. I got 2 more Pluto volumes, which is nice. I'm 3 out of 8, so good. I got 1 more volume of Mashal, which is good because I had fallen behind on Mashal for a while. I think I'm still 2 books behind, but it's not that big a deal. Also, those volumes are a little bit more affordable, so it's easier to get them. I got 1 Loser Ranger volume. It was volume 6, so it's out of order, but it's okay. I got it for like $3, so I couldn't really pass up the opportunity. And I also got Shine number 4, which is one that I've been meaning to get for a long time, so it's nice to finally get that. I also got to finish up some of my Spanish editions or Mexican editions. I finished Green Blood, and I actually restarted it from Mexico because I had the first volume from Spain, and I got the first volume from Mexico, and then I finished the series in the Mexican edition. So that's nice. I got 5 volumes of that all completed, which is great. I also finally managed to complete my One Piece data book collection as well. So I got One Piece Green, and that was the last one of the 5 volumes that are out that I needed, so that's wonderful. I also thought I finished collecting Wolf. I'm a Wolf, my boss is a sheep, and it turns out that there's actually 5 volumes of that series, not 4, and the 5th one comes out in October, so I'm not done with it, but I'm very well close to it, right? So that's great. So in general, I did good in terms of getting my series that I've been trying to focus on. I think that was well done. But I didn't really do that great on catching up to series that I had let fall behind, by the end of last year, right? So that's probably going to be my goal this next quarter. It's going to be focusing on that, right? So yeah, I'm also falling behind even more on some of those series. So it's a kind of a priority for me. So we'll see how it goes, right? But you never know. In terms of new series, I got a new volume of a light novel. I got A Raven of the Inner Palace. This is a light novel. It's kind of like a historical fiction light novel focusing on this girl that happens to be part of some emperor's harem or something. And she's special for some reason. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I know that the anime is pretty popular, and hopefully the light novel manages to live up to that hype, right? Then I finally started collecting Luscious, right? And this is a series that I mentioned earlier that my roommate was telling me, hey man, you always talk about this, but you never get it. Might as well grab it. So I did during the free comic book day sale, and I got the first 3 volumes. I think there's 6 or 7 of them out, and I don't know how long the series is gonna go, but I am very happy that I finally started to collect it, right? So that might be something I read this month in July, so we'll see. I also got the first volume of Legendary Warrior Momo. It was a pretty cool story. Mostly I got it to check out a new publisher, and I liked it. I thought it was good. I think there's 4 volumes in that series. And I don't know what the release schedule is, but it's probably not very often because that publisher is pretty new, so they have pretty slim pickings in terms of what they're putting out there. So they probably don't want to crowd the market with all of their stuff early on and then just not have any more stuff later on, right? But I'm not really sure. I liked it. I thought it was cool. The most interesting aspect of this series, and actually of all of the books that Alien Books publishes, is that they come with a dust jacket, and they come more in the style that they would be if you got them from Japan, right? So that's pretty cool. Then I started reading Iruma-kun. I bought the first volume basically because I saw it during a sale at an FYE, a For-Your Entertainment store, and I forgot that it was $13, not $10. And so I messed up, but you know, it is what it is. I got it for a bit less than that because it was like a buy one, get one half off. So the pricing of the 2 items that I got kind of divides in 2, right? So it was more like $10. But it's still a bit more than I would have liked to pay for it, but it's a really good series. I actually really liked it, right? So yeah, I'm gonna for sure pick up another volume of it. And then I started collecting Lady Snowblood. I actually collected all 4 of the volumes. This is an edition from Mexico, and it's a really nice edition, and I'm really excited to get around to reading it, right? So that's cool. I also bought The Guy She Likes Wasn't a Guy at All, which is a new series that I started as well. This is currently not available in English yet, but it is coming from Yen Press. I got it from Mexico, from Panini, and I got it from them because, 1, it's cheaper. 2, I think it has more features than the Yen Press version will have, because they keep the dust jacket, and so they also keep the stuff that's in the actual cover of the book, right? So that's not necessarily the case for Yen Press. And also, I didn't necessarily trust them to keep the interesting part of that series going, which is that it has a bunch of spot coloring in the backgrounds where it's all green, because they didn't do that for Gal Gamer, right? So I decided I was going to buy it from Mexico because it was, you know, broadly speaking, because it was cheaper, but it had all of those other benefits as well, right? I also started picking up Witches' War, or Greedy Witches, or The War of the Greedy Witches. I don't know what the proper official title for it in English is, but that series, you know, Mahou Tensei. And I got this from Mexico, although it's actually published by a Spanish publisher. They're called Planeta Comic, and Planeta Manga specifically is the manga branch of their company. And I got it because I needed to fill in a certain amount of money for a free delivery from this place that I bought these books from, right? And well, that was the best chance that I had of filling it in properly, so that's what I used, and I'm very happy I did because I actually really like that series. If you're a fan of Record of Ragnarok, but you're upset that there's no female characters that are that important, because, you know, like, technically the Valkyrie characters are female characters and they are important to the story, but they rarely exist as the female character, right? They're usually the weapon, right? And you know, the 2 Valkyrie girls that always talk don't really have enough going for them that it's like they're that interesting. So if you like Record of Ragnarok but you want more female characters in that style of fighting manga, I recommend you check out Witches' War, because it basically fits that, you know, desire perfectly. So I recommend it. I also started reading or collecting the series called Gyun Saga, right? So Gyun Saga is the Japanese edition, or the Japanese thing that is most similar to Conan the Barbarian, right? It's also something that deeply inspired Kentaro Miura to make Berserk. And in English, only the first story arc is available through 5 volumes of the series. It's published by Vertical. They're $10 a piece, and they're nice and small. So I picked up the first one. I'm trying to read it this month, and if I like it, I will finish collecting it by the end of the year. But I'm very excited about this because it's nice to see sword and sorcery that isn't just from the US and England, right? So that's really, really exciting. I'm very excited to check this out. So overall, I'm really happy with my new series acquisitions, right? All of the stuff that I brought in that isn't stuff that's already related to things I collect. I think that it's all great stuff. I'm very happy that I got all of this. And I think I might have been missing some, but I can't remember off the top of my head if I bought anything new that I hadn't already mentioned before. So I'll leave it at that, right? So didn't do so great with my catch-ups, did do pretty great bringing in new series, right? So that's it for the collecting goals. In terms of reading, I read 97 comics. 3 of them were trades and 94 of them were issues, right? So I actually read more like 120 something issues total, but I didn't feel like counting it that way, so that's why I'm telling you the stats this way. That was the bulk of the reading for the second quarter, right? And there's a few reasons for this. One, I just have not really felt like reading manga all that much, which kind of sucks because manga is my main reading hobby. It's the thing that I like the most. But also, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I have so many manga and my TBR is growing so much that I'm getting kind of like choice paralysis or choice fear or whatever you want to call it, choice anxiety. I'm not really sure what the term is, but because there's so much variety, I can't really pick what I want. And I'm getting to that point, and I think that it's kind of a problem, but I don't really know how to fix it without stopping my purchasing. But if I stop my purchasing, then I'm gonna fall super behind on some series and or most series that I like to collect, and that's not necessarily good because some of them have pretty limited print runs, right? Or are sort of difficult to get, or I barely see them anywhere in stores as it is, right? So I'm kind of worried about that. And so I haven't really been able to justify stopping my purchasing of manga for a while, right? But I do think I need to. Maybe I should do one of those like read what you own challenges for a few months. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. So that's something that I've been thinking about. And because I've been having this analysis paralysis or choice paralysis with manga, I've been focusing more on comic books, which I have a lot less of. And I actually have like the incentive to read them quickly because I have to be ready to review them in some cases, or in other cases, I just have to know what's going on before I buy the next issue because I don't like buying the next issue without knowing what's going on. And since they come out once a month, I have to make sure to read it within the month that I got, and then I get it, right? So there is a certain level of like external force associated with comic books that allows me to read them a bit more consistently right now than manga. And so that's why I've been reading more of them lately. Then I read 19 different manga volumes. This is pretty low. 20 volumes of manga should be what I read in like a month, right? Like based on previous, things that I've done on the channel and my reading, time, I really should be reading more manga. But I just haven't because of what I mentioned previously, right? So also the bulk of the manga that I read this quarter actually was Adam the Beginning, and I read only like 7 volumes of that. So I just have not really been delving deep into manga properly, right? I think the second most read thing that I read in this quarter was Spy Family, right? So I need to up my reading game for manga, right? And also read 2 novels, and they might actually be bigger than novels, but I don't really know how to word it. But these are 2 different books from different web serials, right? So I read a portion of The Wandering Inn. I read a portion of The Gods Are Bastards, and I also ended up reading an actual physical book, which would be Legends of Lattes, the original book, the original story by Travis Baldry, right? So I guess I read 3 books, not 2, but other than that, there really isn't too much else to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down below. What have you guys been reading this quarter? What have you guys been collecting this quarter? Let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.